students and families. The purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to use Nearpod for classwork or homework. In this example, I'm going to say that your child has Nearpod assigned as a homework. And so one way that your teacher might communicate how to get to that Nearpod is by putting it on their Canvas link. So you probably know your child logs onto their computer, they log into Clever, and they will find this red Canvas login icon for the application Canvas. On the main screen here, they'll find the class that they want to go to, and in my class we go to students, and then it might come up with something like a link for Monday homework. So when I click here, it comes up with instructions. Here's my Nearpod link and a code if you need it for the Nearpod. Most of the time though, when your student clicks on the link, it's going to open up a new tab and open that Nearpod up directly for them. The first thing it asks for is a name, and of course if your student does not enter their real name, I can't give them credit for doing the Nearpod. So please make sure that they're entering their first and last name so that I can give them credit for their awesome work. Then we click Join Lesson. And so now the Nearpod comes up and it will go through something that looks a lot like a PowerPoint. There are blue arrows on the left and right to go forward and backward through the slides. And the thing that makes a Nearpod a little bit different is the interaction. So on some cases, it might have a video to play. So here it comes up with a screen and there's a play button so that I can play a video. And when that's done and I'm done watching it, I can again go on to the next screen. A lot of times your teachers will also ask your student to respond to things within the activity that they've just watched. So here's a question: what would happen if the Earth stopped rotating? And there's a box where students click and type their response. And so on. Down here at the bottom, there is a Submit button, and it's really important that students click on Submit or it will not record the information that they've typed. So here I'll click on Submit and it will automatically go on to the next slides. So as I read through the slides and I scroll through them, here we come to another activity. It says, draw an illustration showing how the Earth revolves and rotates. Add labels to describe your picture. Now sometimes the instructions will be so large that it's hard to see the picture behind. And so this blue arrow on the left I can use to close up my screen, or I can click on the blue arrow to open up my instructions again. Down at the bottom of the Draw It screens, there are tools that your student can use. The first tool is one that allows them simply to draw on the background. There's also a highlighter tool. They pick any color they want to highlight, and again they can draw. And this button right here is really nice. It's a text tool, the button with the T's on it. And so when you use the text tool, you can pick your color, and it brings up a box and says enter your text here. By clicking here, I can type in my text. I can move that text to another location. I can delete it. I can go back and edit it later. But if I just simply click away, goes back and shows me where it is. By clicking in the text, I can click and drag it to another spot or edit it if I need to. And then there's also an eraser button that you can use to erase something that perhaps you did in error. It's important that before your student leaves this screen, it is as complete as possible and answers the question that is being asked. There are also undo buttons down at the bottom, which could be really handy. And again, there's a submit button. So please make sure that your child is clicking on submit so that it records their response. Otherwise, it will not be submitted to the teacher and they won't be receiving credit for it. And again, if they need to review instructions, they can go back to the top and click on the blue arrow. I know it's a little hidden on this recording, but it's the same one that we see here. So I'm going to click on submit. Another type of interaction that your student might see is a poll. And in a poll question, it's going to ask a question and give multiple choice options that your student can select from. So I'll click answer B. And again, really important that we click on submit. Another kind of interaction we might see in a Nearpod is fill in the blanks. So here I have a word bank at the bottom that I can use to click on my item and fill in the blanks. So here I might click and drag this up to my squares. I can click and drag it to another square. If you don't quite get all the way in a square, you see what it did, it flew away. So it's important to make sure that when you're dragging and dropping, you're really in the middle of that square or it won't accept it. And so, just like it did right there, right? So I can go back and click and drag it back again. When your student is done, click on Done to complete their answers. And it gives immediate feedback, which is really nice. And they can go back and look at the responses, but they cannot change them. They can click on this arrow on the right to continue on. The next kind of interaction that your student might see is a quiz. And so a quiz, in this case it tells us, is going to be 5 questions, multiple choice. The questions will be at the top. And again, if you read the question, you can answer it by clicking on the correct choice. Down at the bottom, your student can click on Next to record their answer. And there is a back button so that they can go back and forth, changing their answers. Okay, just kind of showing you how you can navigate through the screens. I might have some of those wrong. So at the end, I click on Submit, and it submits my score. The blue arrows at the left and the right go to the next activity or slide. And so you see that I can go back, and it will allow me to go back through the quiz again. So as your student navigates through the quiz, they click on Next to go from question to question. The blue arrow goes to the next activity or slide as well. So I hope that this is informative and helps you understand a little bit about how Nearpod works. Here we are at our answers and the final slide. And when you click on the blue arrow, it will show us a screen where we can click to start over as well. I hope this is helpful as your student navigates through Nearpod. Thanks for watching and have a great day.